Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. A very special message, I would say, on today, which is 8/8/2024, also known as 888, also known as the Lionsgate Portal. I hope that you are doing well. Hope that you are feeling empowered, enthusiastic, enlivened with passion, fierce, and faithful. All of the above, or at least one of those things. I hope you're doing well. It's raining cats and dogs where I am, which I now understand is on account of Debbie. Not to be confused with Debbie Downer. Debbie is definitely doing her thing, apparently. And I think that what we're experiencing is pretty much like that surge, the outskirts of that surge where I am, which is more concentrated in the south. And I kind of did know that, but I didn't really connect the dots to the rain that was going on here to that. So it's a pretty big damn storm that we're experiencing on the East Coast. And it's not done yet, apparently. So shout out to you, Debbie girl. Cleansing all the energy, clearing out anything stale, maybe giving new life to some things that haven't been growing. You know, there's always a purpose for a storm, especially one as intense as this one is, apparently. So let's see what we got here today. King of Pentacles, okay. Haven't seen him in a while, at least definitely not first out the gate, so that's cool. We got some prosperity here. Oh, and as if the King of Pentacles isn't already generous enough, this is a good sign. The King of Pentacles with the Six of Pentacles, the 1 and the 6 being the 7, if I can take that liberty, which is about long-term investment. So this might be somebody that, you know, this is a man with a plan for prosperity. And the reason for his abundance and affluence is because he's so generous, is what I'm picking up. Wow. And loving? Well, shit now. What? So this is like, okay, now again, the reason why he's so abundant and affluent is because not only is he generous with his material possessions, he's also very caring, compassionate, and nurturing is what I'm getting. Like, this could be somebody that takes pleasure in investing in others, like whether it be in benevolence, like in charity, or simply just investing in others that he sees promise in, like a small business or a startup or somebody. Not doesn't have to be professional, you know, because it could even just be seeing someone's potential and wanting to kind of help them along, you know what I mean, like to make life a little easier for them, or help sustain their foundation a bit so that they can keep going. You know, this is cool. Let's see what else we got here. Wow, 3 of Cups. Like, definitely this is somebody that ain't afraid to buy out the bar. It won't hesitate to pick up the check. You know, the one that people wanna go out with, and it's not, you know, hopefully, I would say there's wisdom here, and there's what's the right word, like discernment and responsibility here, but people enjoy being around this person because of their spirit of prosperity. Like somebody that is not, it's not like, you can be around people that have a lot of money and they don't let you forget it. Like they flashing their designer, they're bragging about, their experiences, where they've been, their latest purchase, how much they just made on an investment, how much money. It's not that energy, where it's like people want to scurry to be around as opportunists. I'm not feeling that energy. It's just like somebody is very, they have their character is, how can I say this? Like they are, damn, what's a good word for this? Because with the Ace of Cups, it's like, it's deeper than money. It's like somebody is really a pleasure to be around. And the fact that they have money, it's like almost a pleasant surprise, as like they kind of break the mold of the rich aesthetic or the rich man stereotype, as well, to the extent of what I just kind of caricaturized it to be, if that's even a word, where it's not necessarily the absolute for anybody that's wealthy or has money, but it might be something that you would almost like expect or anticipate, but it feels like somebody is like the complete opposite of what you would anticipate with someone that pretty much can like really have whatever they want. There's a certain level of arrogance and maybe even like a dismissiveness, perhaps, apathy. How do you say that? I don't know how you say it in the way I'm trying to say it, but someone that is apathetic or even a bit, snotty. Like, it's just none of that. It's none of that. Is what I'm just trying to really put some respect on this King of Pentacles name, not just because he has wealth, clearly, because it looks like he's earned it, so kudos to him. He deserves it. But it's what he chooses to do with his prosperity, how he projects it, even on a spiritual level, and how he also doesn't allow it to define him at his core, which is something that is honorable here. Yeah. Look at this, the damn devil. Now, what the hell you got to say, devil? After all that goodness I just spoke of. I'm going to see what's behind the devil. And the moon. Maybe a little freaky side, perhaps. Hold on. 7 of Cups. What's this before the 5 of Pentacles? Hold on. And the Temperance with what? The 3 of Wands. I don't know. Is this, let's see here. Because we go from someone, this could be Capricorn energy, this could be Taurus, Capricorn, for the most part. I guess more so Taurus than anything, though, which is fixed. Capricorn is cardinal. This could be Scorpio, which is also fixed. And then the moon, which is Pisces and mutable. So it's something here about, I'm slow to say, is this the same energy? And this is like, it could be the side of them that no one gets to see, which is this deep, very sensual, highly sexual, maybe a bit taboo at times, nature that, I don't know, I feel like I get the sense that it's something that they want to be able to express, maybe even confess under the right circumstances to find rest. So does that mean that this King of Pentacles persona is a front? Or is this just really the mystery behind the man? Behind the laughs and the gags and the good times, maybe even a little debauchery. I don't know. I'm slow to say it because I really just didn't get that energy. Or this could just be somebody's like, I don't know, like evil twin, or just could be with the devil card here actually. Could be an imposter. That may have even been caping themselves in this energy that does exist in a pure form, but the way in which this energy projects it is an illusion and perhaps a little bit diabolical. Yeah, it could be something like that here. A case of stolen identity where somebody has assumed, like I said something about making it a caricature, and I gave all of those opposite qualities. Yeah, it's something like that here. But whatever it is being exposed, I would say. There's some display of truth that I think someone would want to try to resist. Ooh, somebody being blackmailed. Somebody is being blackmailed to keep their secrets or keep their true identity on the wraps, but I don't think with this Five of Swords, yeah, somebody doesn't have had the coins to keep that extortion going. And it's time's up for it anyway, because nobody really, it's like nobody is going to have the support. Yeah, like, okay, money, got it. Nobody's going to have the support to live in a lie anymore. You may be able to live your truth as raw as it may be and still maintain some measure of material gain and wealth. But you're not going to be able to fund a lie in prosperity. It's just not, those two don't exist anymore. So it's something weird here. Yeah, like I almost don't even want to take this out, but I feel like I kind of have to. Yeah, it's like somebody is in jeopardy of being exposed for their, you know, in a way that they don't want to be. I'll put it that way. They wouldn't want it to be public knowledge who they are behind the veil and what they really do for fun, or what their kinks are, or what their what's going on at a deep psychological level, you know, what their psychosis may be, even. Like, they don't want their crazy to show. And there's somebody perhaps that they were close enough to that knows pretty much all of their dirty little secrets. And if they can't keep that energy, maybe it's a group, maybe it's a person, I don't know. But if they can't keep that source, I'll say, satisfied, there's literally going to be hell to pay. That's what I'm getting here. Wow. Damn. Who asked for that on the 888? Not me. But yeah, like, what's this expectation here? Did I already see that? Oh yeah, this is like, yeah, the karma, and they can't pay to try to keep this facade. I don't even know if you can see down here, to try to keep this facade of a happy home. Maybe to keep some type of, may even be to protect themselves legally, or to take some type of legal action or pro-action in this case against whatever this threat may be. Yeah, look, it's coming fast because it's the Judgment, and the World card is over. Like, it's somebody's about to be exposed big time. Two of Pentacles, and they don't have it. And the Empress card, it might be from a woman, an older woman, an ex, the Hierophant and the Empress. Wow. An organization, an authority figure or superior, a boss, a mother, somebody that has influence. I think with the Hierophant and the Empress, it's speaking to somebody that if they say something, they have a great influence for that information to travel or expand or be impressionable, in the sense that people will believe it. You know, like, the source is either credible enough or persuasive enough that it's going to stick as it's released. All right, so let's see what else we got here. This is a weird start. I don't know if we're going to keep on this vibe, but let's see. Ooh, Page of Cups. What's the Page of Cups talking about? Let's see. Ooh. Childhood trauma? Pardon me. Oh, Lord. Well, I hope not child abuse. That's actually what I'm getting more pronounced. Child abuse. Let's see. And the Strength card. Yeah, this, I'm getting from survivors of some type of assault or infraction, something that was done that was that was assaulting to to vulnerable energies, whether it be children or people like the opposite of this here in the Six of Pentacles, maybe exploiting energies that are less fortunate or have some type of disadvantage, maybe a disability. I just heard that real clear. But could be creating emotional disabilities on account of their actions. Whatever it was that was inflicted could be the disabling quality on an emotional or psychological, as an emotional or psychological what do you call it, like a, not symptom, but what lingers after some type of trauma or effect, I guess side effect maybe. And there was just enough strength, it seems, to preserve their witness, maybe even their testimony. I don't know, something weird here. But there's been some damage done, no less. Empress, Six of Wands. I mean, if there's anyone that has been on the receiving end of such injustices, then certainly it would be empowering to know that there is justice being served on your behalf, or it is soon to come. So there's that upside to look at it, because I want to try to, yeah, exactly. Something that, a result that will be empowering is what I'm getting here. Certainly. Why is it so off? Yeah, something that'll be empowering and restorative. Even if it's just a matter of being able to like share your story, or just to know that there will be retribution paid for whatever you incurred, is going to allow some the closure to feel like they have procured a victory despite the disfavor. Yeah. Which is good, because this is, like I said, this is empowerment at a supreme level. So it could open up opportunities to kind of like transmute pain into power, you know, to transmit your experience into something that could be productive and prosperous. A book, a platform here with the Six of Wands, shoot, a song, a dance, I don't know, like something artistic though, with the Ace of Wands, like literally transmuting that pain into a passion, maybe infusing that into a passion that you already possess, and allowing it to like purposing it to have a new value, you know. That's the greatest way to healing, which is right up under the Ace of Cups. not to allow yourself to be bound by your experiences, certainly not to be burdened, to release the trauma as best you can and allow the healing process to be empowering. Like I said, it doesn't mean that you snap and overnight all is forgotten, all is clear, but the more that you transmute energy from being a victim to a victor, which is definitely a transference here, the less your experiences have any power or influence over you in the least favorable way. You take that power back and you decide how it gets to be dispersed, if at all. Could just be sheerly the satisfaction of justice that is sweet enough to just sit on. But 9 times out of 10, people go through things so that you can be an exhibition of power, resilience, and creativity to someone else that might, kind of need that point of reference for their own pathway to healing. And it doesn't mean that everybody has to turn into a hero and champion some cause for their, for their challenges, but you certainly expedite the healing process when you take that liberty, because you do have the, new beginning, the Fool card, exactly. To have something that had a certain charge of energy mean something completely different in a new cycle. Hell, maybe even finding yourself being amused by your past experiences more than you felt abused, at least, in a very disproportionate way. Maybe not totally a ha ha, kiki, he he, but certainly more, even if not amused, like almost like kind of like astounded by yourself, when you reflect on all that you've overcome, or reflect on your own resilience and your strength, that it almost, kind of like pays for the pain, because otherwise you may have never have known the potential you possess. But when you reflect and consider, like, damn, I went through all that and I'm still smiling, I'm still hopeful, I still have a positive outlook for life, I'm still prosperous, I'm still loving, I still have friends, like I still want, still have maintained my heart for people, still want to be of service to others, because you could be just completely shut down, cold, which is what trauma is supposed to do, given, didn't I see that, wasn't the devil? Yeah, the devil's work, pretty much to shut people down, like dry up this well of compassion that ultimately spills out into everything that you do and to those around you. Will want to kind of like stop that up, so that you're too heartbroken to want to give. You're too heartbroken to want to showcase your gifts and your talents. You're too heartbroken to want to trust. You're too unforgiving to ever love again. That's the work of the devil. But this is saying that there's some triumph here, despite that hard work. That could have been invested at, on many levels, that you could have even contributed to. Yeah, here's the work again, that you could have even contributed to by way of your agreement at some point in time, but not anymore. Because this is now investing your energy into things that matter, i.e. your passions, and moving forward as what? a victor, not a victim. You could be starting a nonprofit. You could, it's something that has almost become like your passion project, or that really is like, is driving your purpose. What it is that you champion a cause for sometimes comes on account of some really messed up things, some messed up experiences. But the beauty that emerges from it is limitless. Like, you literally can, just as limitless as the Ace of Wands is, like, you can transmute that energy infinitely, flip it over and over again before it ever loses its flavor and its power and its impact. Because unfortunately, at least right now anyway, the reality is that we are far more relatable to one another on account of the trauma that we've incurred in some way, shape, or form than anyone would really want to admit or realize. The scales are still being balanced in favor of the triumph over the trauma, so that we can turn those tables around and have more people take their power back. But it's happening, it's happening even more accelerated now, I would say, than ever before, because of the transmission of information by way of the internet, and more advanced modes of communication and expression, where people get an opportunity to share their story. You don't have to depend on writing a New York Times bestseller and hoping, or writing a book and hoping that it becomes that and millions of people read it. You can publish your story on Amazon and market from your YouTube platform or your Instagram or your Facebook. You can, just turn on the camera and just talk. If you don't want to write, you can write a song about it and release that song on your own platform. You don't have to wait for a record label. There's so many ways to express your energy now, which is also helping to accelerate the healing process and to evolve the victory, the triumph over the trials, and also to kind of cut the trauma in half now, whereas it's something that could have continued to persist, much longer than it has, for lack of knowledge, for lack of awareness, self-awareness first and foremost, for lack of the transmission of information that would encourage one to another to keep going, or to share your story, or to live, to not be ashamed of your truth, or to expose your abuser or whatever, you know what I mean? Like all of that, so many things. Well, let me see what's on the bottom here. Wow, the Lovers. Yeah, to just choose yourself, to really choose what's absolutely best for you and how you get to live in that truth in the most supreme frequency that you can aspire to. Literally, there being no limit, honestly. There being no limit and really no excuses, honestly, anymore, except for just the choice to want to stay in pain, to stay in fear, to stay contained, and detained. There's so many options, of which I've already kind of shared, and so many more than I could ever have time to say. And it's just like, you only got to choose one, whichever is most divine to you, you know? And it doesn't even have to be on account of retaliation or exposure or, revenge or anything like that. Like, you can totally avenge the best for yourself just by choosing to love yourself above all else. In some ways, you don't even have to expose anybody to still be avenged, or to find closure or restoration. Like, it's all a matter of choice, of course, but the highest frequency of choice would really be to pour as much of that energy into yourself, where it can really grow, where you can, cultivate it productively, than anything else. And that's the way forward. And it's the work that actually is rewarding with the Eight of Pentacles here. Let's see what else we got. Ooh, Strength card again. Wow. I said, like, it's somebody that the strength from before, I think maybe was like resilience, maybe even endurance, having to have that going for yourself, to have made it out of what you encountered alive in some ways. Like, imagine, wrestling with a lion. But this strength is different. It has a different vibe to it, I feel. Well, let's see what we got here. Yeah, because this is you on the other side of the game of this depression. Having escaped this energy that would have been justified, as I said, to just keep being sad, keep being scared, maybe even guilty, ashamed, defeated, all of that good stuff. This is what was impressed upon you by way of trauma, and this is what you have overcome, you have superseded, you've gained leverage over, is what I'm getting here with the Strength and the Five of Cups. Like, it doesn't control you. You have tamed it somehow. That was the beast. To be completely like submerged in sadness. Oof. Thank you, God. Consumed by it is what I really mean to say. Consumed by depression, by guilt, shame, fear, worthlessness, disappointment, maybe even anger, unforgiveness, all the things that would have been justified out of this Three of Swords, especially at your most vulnerable state as a Page of Cups, when you have very little, very limited faculties, or I'll say underdeveloped faculties, to navigate those emotions. But you were having to deal with it nonetheless. So this could be you, definitely having like triumphed from childhood trauma that, for all intents and purposes, was designed to disable you, maybe even destroy you, or at least incite you to ultimately destroy yourself by making choices and living in in an energy where you just continue to perpetuate that trauma in your energetic force field, meaning like the choices that you make just begot more trauma, picking the wrong guy, the wrong friends, living out of unforgiveness, out of shame, and doing things that kind of exhibit that emotional challenge, I guess I could say. And given that you do that on account of what impact you incurred that would incite that becomes what you ultimately attract. And so you only find yourself managing more and more of what you want the least of, and that's how the cycle just continues to keep going until, it's just one big karmic recycling year after year, month after month, hell, maybe lifetime after lifetime for some if you subscribe to it, where you just perpetuate generational cycles and maybe even start some new ones of your own for your offspring to then have to grapple with, and their children, and before you know it, you've created a legacy of trauma just off of one, off of your own personal choice to refuse healing, to refuse to love yourself, to reject even the help and support that the divine makes available, circumstantially, of course, depending on who you are, that you have access to, that would allow you to turn the tables on what you experience. And even still, with all the opportunity and resource available, it's still very hard. It takes a lot of will. This is the second time actually this week that the Chariot and oh no, that was the Chariot and the Six of Wands, but this is like a double emphasis on willpower, strength, power, might, the nerve, the gall to look an enemy in the face, even if it's one in the mirror, and decide not today. Maybe even, I just got that too. Maybe even as deep as having desires to just end it all at some point in time. And because when I said not today, I heard the line that Arya says, when we see death, what do we say? Or when we see the face of death or something like that, what do we say? Not today. Something along that. I always mess it up. But pretty much like when death comes a knocking, you have the audacity to say, not my time. I don't care how sad I am. I don't care how dire the circumstances may seem, how bad my life experiences have been, how alone I may feel, how hopeless my outlook may be, how little resources I may have at my disposal, how little support, limited advantages, whatever the case may be. It's literally the nerve to say, I got another breath in me. I got another hour. I got another day. I got another week, another month, another year to just keep on going, believing for the best. That's not easy, especially if we're talking about some heavy, hard hits to the psyche, as I'm feeling it is, or was, or could have been for some. For you to still turn up like not today, literally like not today Satan type of energy, and to stand in your power, like that's amazing. Yeah, and to have to not today, walk away even when you've had to, even when you didn't want to at times, maybe even walking away feeling a little bit defeated, in some instances, but still choosing to walk away. And with the Nine of Cups, that's with the expectation, or at least the faith, because sometimes you may not have had a guarantee of what you were walking away to at times, but always believing that it gotta get better than this. There's gotta be something more. And then sometimes you got to the next place and that wasn't it either, and you had to keep on, pack it up and keep on going. Could have been a relationship that was disappointing, a friendship, multiple friendships, or family, a number of things, honestly, that could have disappointed you, or that could have been less than what you expected. Certainly could have been less than what you invested, or given less than what you invested. And you had the courage to say, all right, that's all right. I'm not going to hold no grudge. I ain't going to be mad. I ain't going to take revenge or rage. Hell, you may not have even said nothing. You may have kept your emotions and your feelings to yourself and just carried on, and even that is strong. So you've already done a great deal of work here. No wonder that devil had to go back into the deck, because that projection's no good here with an energy such as this. You've already faced the worst of yourself, and maybe even faced the taboos of your dark nature, and learn to appreciate them. Fancy that. Learn to love yourself, regardless of how, the status quo, that you may live against, or in contrast to, or contrary to. Five of Wands, let's see what else this is. Wounded Warrior, yeah, coming out of that energy of competition and chaos, still standing, still on your feet. You might be a little bumped and bruised, but still standing on the outside looking in of this rat race, not choosing to invest yourself into it is like true power, to in some cases surrender to a higher power is actually what I'm getting here, not to be kind of swept away into what would be the conventional response to the life that we've been conditioned to live here on the earth, where everybody's kind of cutthroat or at each other's throat to be the best, do the best, have the best. And they not even, not even an energetic match really for the best, because nobody's fighting that hard for their healing, not in this energy of the Five of Wands. You're too worried about how you're looking, how you're perceived, how you're advancing over the next person, who's doing what. Like, it's not an internal work in that regard. But the Nine of Wands is closing that cycle, or allowing it to be closed as you defer to a higher force, a more pure passion. That means maybe stepping out and doing something that was judged, maybe even misjudged, or that was what's the right word? I'm hearing discriminated, but it's not that. That was shoot, what's the word I'm trying to find? Not discriminated, but condemned. I'm getting that too. Like, yeah, that was like condemned or criticized. There it is, criticized. Yeah, any of that. It's just like you found the strength after you ran the rat race, to the best of your ability. You found your footing to cultivate your power from a pure source. And that, a lot of times, that does attract a great deal of scrutiny, competition, and even covert ways for people to want to like challenge you just because you're doing you, you know, because it makes them uncomfortable, or even because they feel like they can do you better than you do you. And so then they try, and it causes a bit of a resistance at times, but nothing that can't be handled or nothing that hasn't been handled quite impressively, I would add, with the Six of Wands, the Ace of Wands, and the Strength card, and the Chariot. Yeah, like you're working on, or you have found your purpose in life that more or less puts you in your own lane, where there's no need to compete, where you don't compare. It's just up to the rest of the folks to get the memo on that. Wow. And then the Ten of Pentacles. There's the reward. There's the firm foundation. Wow. That can only really, truly be sustainable from an authentic space. I mean, you could have prosperity, even have yourself a nice little retirement plan, 401k, you know, a nice little business or enterprise of sorts. But if it's not plugged into some pure passion, you may still find yourself working for the rest of your life just to sustain this level of security, just to say you have something to hold on to or to look forward to. Whereas in the purest form, the money works for you. King of Pentacles, even with the Six of Pentacles, I think that's like reoccurring payments or something like that, where you got passive income, and you love what you do, you're proud of what you do, and perhaps you're making an impact on community or on creation overall. Like, that has a different frequency than doing it the way that everyone expects you to, or surrendering to the challenge of adversity because it's easier, feels easier to do so, or even what people close to you have an expectation for of you, or merely suggest that you should be doing, when your heart is telling you something different. You know, like, it may be a little bit of a bumpy road at first, but certainly well worth it, obviously, for this to be the outcome. All right, let's see. 2 more and we're done, because I'm feeling the spirit of my timer creeping up on me. And you know what? Oh, here's the Empress again. And you know what? Because I feel like I just kind of left that. I mean, it probably needs to kind of be left in the dust or in the shadows. But how I said, like, this energy of being like blackmailed is what I saw in that little mini spread. That's when you're in operating in a frequency that is not authentic to you, or that you're doing something that you haven't settled to be proud of, because you should never be doing anything that you couldn't expose yourself, or that you, not to say that everything is everybody's business, but the truth is the truth, right? So if you're not living in a frequency of truth that doesn't shame you or guilt you if it were to be shared or exposed, then that's like a serious cause for consideration on a deep psychological level, as to either why you're doing what you're doing, why it is satisfying to you despite the threat to your I guess your pride or your reputation or whatever it is you're protecting, and or why you are perfectly secure and letting your freak flag fly, whatever that is. Now, of course, if you're doing something illegal, then we know why, but all of that even wrapped up into it. It's like when you're not living in the highest frequency of love and truth and pure passion that is not a casualty to yourself or to others, there really should be no threat to your security in any way, shape, or form. So if there's any way that there's a vulnerability of or a paranoia, I should say, of being exposed, then that's the first point of self-discovery and healing, I would say. Like, what maybe has gone on at a foundational level that either you were taught that that's something you can't be proud of, or you actually know that it's something you shouldn't really be doing under the highest frequency of life expression. Why is it then? And what can you choose to do about it to have it be different so that you can be different? Because everybody deserves to just be able to live without the threat of anything looming over their heads. Like, even if somebody does think that they're pulling up your skirt and exposing you, it may not be something that you would have wanted to necessarily shout from the rooftops, but I guarantee you there is literally nothing that anybody can say about me that is absolutely true now, 100% true, that I would have a problem owning up to, and that I haven't already, accepted of myself. There's nothing. So therefore, I'm not vulnerable to anyone's persecution or condemnation or threat of exposure or blackmail or anything of the sort. Because if you feel like you got the tea, baby, spill it. Enjoy yourself. Have another cup, why don't you? And spill that one too. And then let me know where we spilling the tea so I can confirm or deny, if I even choose to, because really it's like, in some ways, it's not even worth the energy to try to confirm or deny anything. You can just let people think what they want to think. And that's also the beauty of living in your own truth authentically, is that you don't feel compelled to combat anything else that you've already affirmed for yourself. That's Empress energy right here. Assured, affirmed, confident, secure, independent. I mean, as a leader, you're going to have people saying all types of stuff about you if you're in any type of position of leadership at all. I mean, hell, just the managing at the local mall, at the clothing store. You have your employees that may have their opinions about you. So especially on any elevated level of authority, it is what it is. But what is it to you, though? Yeah, exactly. Does it make you money? Because if not, it don't make sense, literally, to even worry about. And you already at the Empress with the Page of Queen of Pentacles, knowing your worth and value at a core level, knowing who you are, knowing, your contribution to whatever it is you do, like I said, whether it be work or family or friends or, just creation overall, just being alive and breathing. That every time you exhale, you are releasing some high frequency of excellence into the world. That's the energy here with the like elitism with the Empress and the Queen of Pentacles. Like, what? Bowing to no one but the divine, truly. and being exalted by the same. So what does anybody, okay, listen here, Ace of Pentacles, like, that's the ultimate prize, the ultimate reward. There's nothing else worth negotiating, quite honestly. Like, what are we talking about? So why they spilling that tea, you just making it rain in other ways, literally making it rain with the the Empress and the darn Queen of Pentacles, okay? This is the frequency to be cultivated through this empowered 888 frequency that we are, this portal that we are being delivered through. If it ain't this already, then certainly there's still time for you to call it in, to dive in, as a matter of fact, to know exactly just how valued you are in spirit and in flesh, and literally govern yourself accordingly, no matter what the past projects, no matter what the present may pronounce, no matter what the future so-called predicts. What is true of you right now is really a culmination of what you've already proven to yourself by way of your resilience and your experiences, the choices that you've made to just be as you are right now in this moment. Like, that's enough. Judgment, wow, again, at that. And that's final. And like I said, if this isn't what you have, maybe I'm getting that maybe it's like you haven't really given yourself permission to recognize yourself in this frequency, to be okay with reverencing your own high value, like really allowing yourself to appreciate how amazing you are. And the divine is already, is saying that it's time. It's far past time that you do that, because this is like a decree of the divine saying that you have permission to see yourself as this highly favored, highly fortunate being, because it says so. It has ordained for it to be so, and not for the sheer pleasure of pride and ego, and the gratification of that, to prance around and stomp on other people's self-esteem. No, it's to actually project the opposite, to be a mirror effect of what others, like I said, like the in the beginning, like the benevolence of your prosperity is beyond material. It's just exuding from your character, your personality, your self-esteem. It's an influence that the divine wants, and in some cases needs to work through in the physical form so that others can get on the bus, so to speak, that can get on board and have this final, this judgment moment for themselves, where they either take inventory of who they've been being up until this point and make proper adjustments, or just realize what they may have been disregarding, or what may have been even unrecognizable to some, because you've just been kind of going through the motions, surviving in the trenches, struggling to keep your head above water. Whatever the case may be, it's time that you be pronounced as the elite energy that you project. You've already chosen to be this by the decisions that you've made, the investments that you've made, who you have professed yourself to be energetically. Now it's time to actually sit in the appointment of that seat, and also, not for nothing, to receive the awards and the accolades that come along with it. How's that for Lionsgate? That little spread was like, it feels like it was a little bit of like a diversion, a distraction, a projection to try to make, like, almost to bring you back to, oh, remember when life was sad, remember when life was hopeless, remember when you know you had low self-esteem and you didn't even think that you were worthy to, you know, live another day. Like that would, if there was any poke of that type of energy today, this is your sign to completely banish it. Banish it unto the light to be, as I pray, transmuted, transformed, or transitioned respectively. Because it has no place to thrive where you are. Not in this season. You've well surpassed that frequency. And even when you recognize it on sight, the sheer fact that you do recognize it is also a sign that it don't live there no more. It's a stranger. You know? It no longer has a residence in your auric field. And so treat it righteously as an unwanted guest. Hell, don't even answer the door for it if you don't have to. But certainly, you know, maybe you got a Ring camera and you can say, we're not home right now, but if you like to leave a message, you can do so at this time. I'll watch those Ring camera videos on YouTube, which are scary and hilarious at the same time. Like when you really see the energies that are walking up to people's front door, stealing packages, rummaging through your mail, all types of creepy shit that's definitely on the rampage right now, but no match for who you are in all of your righteousness. So just hold that position. Hold that thought. Okay? So happy 8/8 again. I wish the best for you. I'm in agreement for the highest frequency of your manifestations for you, your family, your visions, your whatever it is that you're believing for in this season. I declare it is so, you know, and I decree that you are equipped to receive it and to magnify it even beyond your your wildest expectations at that. And the divine is, if it's pouring out, you know, and you're feeling it, even sensing it in your spiritual frequencies, that something's on the way, just open up your heart to receive, because you deserve it. Point blank, period. It wouldn't be coming to you in this season if you didn't. So thanks again for listening and watching. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.